Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now we're going to talk about that big historic thing that took place yesterday. Yeah, the Donald Trump being arrested and arraigned in a court of law. Now, of course, Donald Trump was arraigned yesterday in New York after being indicted in New York back on Thursday. He surrendered to the police yesterday at the court and was booked and then arraigned. So, where do we go from here? What does it mean? What does it not mean? And what do I think about all those liberals that are so excited about it? We're going to start with that. Now, to all those liberals out there that are super excited, that think Donald Trump being indicted and being arraigned and going to face trial is such a great thing, an exciting thing, let me temper that a little bit. It's not the strongest case in the world here. That's one. From what I've read and what I've seen from different legal people on the different networks, and even here on YouTube, I don't see it as a very strong case. I read through the indictment yesterday. There's literally no really descriptions to any of it. And I've read and seen people basically say the DA is going to have to contort himself into a pretzel, literally, to get this done. At least that's what I've been hearing, right? Now, I can't say for sure whether he'll be convicted or not. I can say in the past, Donald Trump has been able to keep his hands clean by not doing anything himself. The man never gets his hands dirty, so I'm kind of surprised that he would be getting his hands dirty in this case. But it's kind of like a he said thing, right? Cohen says Trump made him do it. Trump says, no, I didn't make Cohen do it. Now, that's one thing right there, right? It's not a very strong case. Two, what's it going to do? Push him to be president again? You're going to rally his base to the point that they push him back into the presidency in 2024? Something I'm pretty sure you don't want. I sure don't want it. As a trans person, Donald Trump as president would be the worst thing ever for me and for other people like me. And not because Donald Trump actually believes in any of the stuff that he's spewing. He doesn't hate drag queens, but he'll hate them for political gain. He doesn't hate gay people, but he'll hate them for political gain. He doesn't hate trans people, but he'll hate them for political gain. Until he started running for president, I'd hardly ever seen anything about him being anti-LGBTQ. And then he started running for president in 2015. So that's another bad thing of what's going to happen. At the end of the day, though, holding him account is more important than whether or not it rallies his base and he becomes president. I do agree there. And three, there are many people out there, especially the liberals, that believe that if Donald Trump is convicted of these crimes, that he will not be allowed to be president. I hate to tell you how wrong you are on that one. There is no law that prevents a felon from running for president of the United States of America. There is no law anywhere at the federal level that blocks that. Now, there may be states that could block that block that kind of thing, right? They may block you from voting, may block you from being able to run for governor of your state, but there's no law that prevents you from being able to run for president of the United States. Just the morals, possibly, of the party you are running for. But as it is, Trump looks like he's going to win at least the 2024 primary, and very possibly will beat Joe Biden. So there's no law that prevents him from being president again. Even if he's convicted. Number four, this case will not take place even before the 2024 election cycle ends anyway. Based on everything I've seen, read, and heard, his lawyers have all sorts of delay tactics at their disposal that are legal to use to help spend more time preparing a defense. So we could be looking at 2 years from now before that case ever actually gets into a courtroom. We will see. It could happen differently. It's just not likely. And I do think this is an absolutely disgusting and terrible thing to happen for this country. Not because we're holding somebody to account for a crime, because I don't believe anybody is above the law, which we'll get to in a minute. But that we allowed ourselves to elect somebody president who had committed such crimes. Or so many, at least alleged crimes, right? With all the charges here, the things he's facing in Georgia, and other federal investigations going into the Trump campaign and Trump himself of the January 6th riots and insurrection. It's just sad, right? It's sad to see for this country. And I can tell you right now, though, as much as I am disgusted by our country to begin with right now, I'm absolutely disgusted with what we allowed ourselves to do in 2016 by electing somebody that was already an alleged criminal. Now, I don't see this as a Republican thing or a Democrat thing. I see this as a right or wrong thing. Right? If he committed this crime, he should be held account. He should be held to account on every crime he's committed. But I believe that too for Democrats. I'm not just coming after Donald Trump. Right? It's not just Donald Trump. The thing is, folks like me on the left, we don't worship somebody like a cult leader. We don't worship our elected officials as deities. If they commit a crime, we'll be the first one to oust them. If we feel like he actually committed a crime. I saw somebody arguing the other day, well, you indicted Donald Trump, so we're going to indict Bill Clinton. So? Do I really care? No. If you have a crime that he committed that you can indict him on and put him on trial for, by all means, put him on trial. If you can find out he did something to somebody underage at the Epstein Island or on that plane, please, by all means, bring that evidence. Put the sucker in prison. I don't care. But just make sure you have a case, right? It's like impeachment. I hear people say, well, you impeached Trump, so we're going to impeach Joe Biden. If you have something to impeach Joe Biden on, please, by all means, get to it. You got something on Obama, get to it. Get that indictment going. I don't care who they are. I don't worship a political leader. I don't care about them. They're not someone I care about. And that's how most liberals see it, right? We see them, we elect them to do a job. If they can't do that job, we get rid of them. And if they commit a crime, we hold them to account. Do you remember what we did to Al Franken? Do you remember what we did to Al Franken? Just because he was alleged to have done something uncouth back in 2006 as a comedian with a group of other comedians. Did you see what we did to him? Chased him out of politics entirely. So we don't care. We will eat our own. We don't care. If they commit a crime, we don't care who they are. If they do something disgusting, we don't care. Send them on their way. Did you see how quickly we dispensed of Anthony Weiner? especially after we found out about the being him trying to hook up with a underage person. Come on now, don't give us threats that we'll support you in, right? You can sit there and say all you want. Oh well, you wouldn't like it. Look, we don't care. We really don't care. I think it's high time that we hold these rich men accountable for their actions, whether it be from their treatment of people or them just breaking the law in general. It's high time these people are held to account. I don't care who they are. It could be somebody I really like, but if someone needs to be held to account, do it. Just make sure you have a case. Which is my concern with the case that we have coming against Donald Trump in Manhattan. I don't feel like it's much of a case. Now, maybe more evidence will come out later, because as I mentioned, there's not a lot of detail in that indictment. Right? It just says that he, falsified business records. Maybe more evidence will come out as the trial gets going. What I will tell you, though, is Donald Trump was requested by the judge, or warned by the judge anyway, not to incite civil unrest and not to, incite any kind of, make any kind of incendiary statements. And of course, he did just that right after he got back to Florida. Now, that's the story. That's the news for right now. That's all we've got with him. That's all I got, really, on that. So, anyways, y'all have a great day. I'll see you down the road. I'm going to try to make another video for you on Friday. We'll see how that goes. And I'll see you then. Have a great day.